Hi guys, we're going to talk about how to convert Starbucks pumpkin cheesecake muffins into, wait for it, Muffin-Pops. Stay tuned. So, for those of you who are booked and busy, this recipe will take you less than 10 minutes. You'll be in and out. They'll look amazing. They'll taste amazing. And guess what? These two muffins will give you more than two muffin pops. I guarantee it. Okay, first things first, we laid out most of our ingredients, not all, but most. We are going to complete this recipe with just a few cake pops, so I only have 2 muffins that we're trialing this with. It's definitely going to make more than 2 cake pops, so don't worry. If you need more, then you're just double the recipe or triple the recipe and make it happen. It is the pumpkin cheesecake muffins, so I do not need to make cheesecake or cream cheese icing to make the cake a little smoother or a little creamier, because it already has the cheesecake inside, which we will be mashing up along with the muffin. And I have the Ghirardelli white vanilla melting wafers. So that's going to be what we dip our muffin pops in. All right, let's get started. So this recipe calls for you to get your hands in there. For me, I like to use gloves. I use gloves with pretty much anything that I'm baking and making. It keeps my hands clean. It keeps the baked item clean, if you will. So if you're going to get in there and mash stuff up, you can use it or not use it. It's your choice, but I like it, so you'll see the blue throughout this video. Take our muffin, peel the paper off. Forgot the word for a minute. Long day. Full disclosure, guys, I'm doing this at like 10 o'clock at night. So forgive me if it takes me a minute to think of a word or two. Okay, so if you notice, the muffin itself has like nuts on top. It's mostly for garnish. There might be a little bit within the muffin itself. For me, I don't particularly want that, so I am going to take it off and discard. So I'm going to use this little paper to get rid of all of these little nuts. If you want them, feel free to keep them. For those who may have a nut allergy or just don't want to deal with the nuts at all, these are bought directly from Starbucks. So that's why you see the nuts. That's how they come. They don't have any variations as far as I know. I haven't seen any. Don't think they do. So feel free to purchase any pre-baked muffin that is nut-free if you need to do so. This hack pretty much works with any muffin. Now, just a heads up, if you do get a different type of muffin and it does not have the cheesecake already inside or some type of cream cheese frosting or some kind of frosting to moisten the actual cake or muffin itself, then my suggestion is you make a quick or purchase a cream cheese icing so that the muffin itself will stick together and form that muffin ball, and it will stay nice and moist. Okay. So we'll start working with just the one muffin. I'm going to leave the second muffin back here. We'll see how many cake muffin balls. I keep wanting to say cake balls, but we are doing something different today, y'all. We are doing muffin balls. So I'm just going to start breaking it up. right? And I'm going to turn my bowl so that you can see what I'm doing. I think you guys can see pretty well. Trying to keep it in frame for you. And there we are with the cheesecake portion of it. So we're just going to mash it really well. See why the gloves really work out well. You could also do this with a cook spoon, but it's really hard to get in there and mash it up. If you have a mixer, it's soft enough where you can, use that as well. But it's always easier to just kind of get in there with your hands, get it done. We don't have time to waste with mixers and then having to wash those out and store them back in our cabinets. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, so as you can see, we have our little crumble. I just took a little bit, put it in my hand, and I'm making a little bit of a ball. Now, if you are on the go and you don't have much baking equipment, or you don't have a meatball maker, I think they call it, then feel free to just kind of roll it into a ball and keep it moving. But if you have one of these, then you can put it in here and make sure that it is made into a perfect ball. See? When it comes out, it is nicely shaped. I'm going to do this one more time. It is nicely shaped, and it is ready to be dipped in some chocolate or melted vanilla, whatever you decide. I have melted vanilla. As you can see, one muffin makes 4 muffin balls. So this is really great for when you're on the go, if you don't want to eat a whole muffin, or if you want to remix the muffin and have it with, your favorite latte or chai tea or whatever. You can just literally make this, wrap it in the parchment paper. I have unbleached parchment paper here. That's why it's brown. And you just wrap it up in the parchment paper, put it in a zippy bag, throw it in the freezer, and you can literally take it out and then add your chocolate or your vanilla, whatever you want to dip it in, and then just roll out. You could do it ahead of time. You could do it the night before. You could do it, for the week. I wouldn't suggest doing it too far in advance and then just leaving it out, because of course it's not going to stay nice and fresh. But literally, I know I can't eat a whole muffin. I would probably end up wasting at least half of it. But if I made the 4 Muffin-Pops, then I would take 1 or 2 with me and then just roll out, right? Saves me money, saves me time. And I mean, it's yummy. And for those who have kids, you could definitely just, throw a couple in a zippy bag and send them on their way in the morning. So it's definitely a nice little twist on the traditional muffin. But again, disclaimer, if you don't get a muffin that has a filling inside, you're going to need to add some kind of filling to it so that it keeps the actual pop nice and moist, and it actually is able to form into a nice ball without a problem. Now that the muffin balls are all formed, and again, 4 muffin balls are made from 1 muffin, which is pretty cool. I'm going to stick them in the fridge, likely in the freezer, because it's just faster, for a minute or 2 while I melt my Ghirardelli white vanilla flavored melting wafers, right? So you can do them simultaneously. I'm going to take the muffin balls that are on the unbleached parchment paper. You can literally use any parchment paper. It's just so that it won't stick. So I wouldn't recommend like aluminum foil or anything like that, because it'll likely stick. Maybe a baking sheet will be fine. Non-stick baking sheet. And you can put them in the fridge if you have time to just relax. But if you're on the go and you need to do this fast, go ahead and throw it in the freezer while you go ahead and melt your chocolate or vanilla or whatever your dipping is going to be. And I'm just showing you the exact measurement of the wafers. So I literally just took those wafers and put them in the measuring cup, and it is indeed a half a cup of the melting wafers. So each muffin will take about a half a cup. You might not need it all, but it's better to have a little bit too much than not enough and then have to melt more. That's just annoying. I have melted my chocolate. Now, you could melt your chocolate just as easily in the microwave. So don't feel like, you need a boiler or anything like that to melt your chocolate or your vanilla. This is vanilla. I have to keep remembering. This is not like chocolate. This is actually vanilla. So it is nice and melted. You want it to be kind of thick. I did not add anything to it. They are melting wafers. And so this is just the perfect consistency. I'm going to take my cake pop stick or muffin pop stick in this case, and I will just dip it in the vanilla. As you can see, I'm just dipping. And I'm going to stick it straight into my muffin ball. And it's good if you hold it so that you don't have problems. Can you guys see this? Make sure it's in frame. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Let me just pull it a little bit closer. There we go. All right, it's time to dip my pops. Let's get this going. Okay, guys, so if you notice, you don't see cake pops. Why? Because I had to pivot. So as I started to melt the vanilla wafers and dip the cake pops inside, the cake pops didn't like that so much. Sorry, muffin pops. The muffin pops didn't like that so much. So they did start to crumble a bit. So as a response, what I did was I took a little bit of the melted vanilla and just rolled the balls with a little bit of the melted vanilla. Literally, it was just a drop or two for each ball just to kind of hold it. And then I stuck it back in the freezer for it to set. So with that said, I think even with the cheesecake, in the middle of the muffin, it's just not enough to hold it and set it in place. I thought that it would be, but it's still not moist enough to hold the ball in place once you start adding the melted chocolate or vanilla or whatever your melting is going to be. So if you would like to incorporate a little bit of the cream cheese icing, I am going to put that recipe in the description box below. It literally takes 5 minutes to make the cream cheese icing from scratch, or you can be super duper fast and just already have some pre-made that you've purchased from the supermarket sitting right there on the side, and you just take about a teaspoon out to incorporate it into the one muffin crumble mixture. It's okay if it looks rocky and it looks like it wants to be, you know, a misshapen lump of coal, right? It's okay. Why is it okay? Because we are going to decorate this and make it look super pretty. So it will not be the ugly duckling for much longer. Okay, I'm going to use orange sprinkles in light of it being October. Ooh, well, that's beautiful, but it went everywhere. OMG. Okay. Okay. It's gorgeous. All right. Maybe I should do this over the sink next time. So that will be my suggestion for sure. Do this over the sink. The cool thing about this stand, and I literally got it from Amazon, they have really big ones if you're making a large amount, but because, I'm not making cake pops for like my whole office or anything like that. so I don't need a holder. This holder is for 7 cake pops, and I'm literally just showing you one so you can really get a good look. I think this looks absolutely beautiful. Yes, I lost a lot of sprinkles because I'm shaking it everywhere. You learn from me, learn from my mistake, right? And then you won't waste almost half a bottle of sprinkles. You'll put it in your hands and you'll manually sprinkle it around your muffin or cake pops. And then you won't waste like I have. I'm taking one for the team. So it's all good. All right, guys, I just pulled it from the freezer after putting some more of the orange little sprinkles on there. And yeah, looking gorgeous, sparkling. 4 of them out of 1 muffin. I only put 1 here on the counter because this little cake stand, cake pop, muffin pop stand is really, really cute. But if you tried to put 4 of these next to each other, there would definitely be some little fender benders there. They would collide. And that's not cute when your crystals start to fall off and your sprinkles are gone. So 1 I thought was simple, cute enough. You can pair it with a cup of joe, a cup of tea. You can have some juice, but I just paired it with a little bit of my favorite coffee that I usually have in the morning this time of year, none other than the pumpkin spice latte. But I just saw a recipe online that I think literally would take about 2 to 5 minutes to make. And it is called the Chai Hot Chocolate. And it's made with Godiva chocolate, darling. Godiva. So we are going to try that, I think, for our next little quick recipe. But stay tuned because I have more hacks to come, more recipes to come. Upcoming, dropping soon will be the crookie hack. For those of you who don't know, look it up. It looks amazing. I've never tried one. Our hack, we're going to see if we make it on our own. Will it be just as good or even better, cheaper, and quicker than running down to one of the famous bakeries in your area, wherever that may be, that sells the crookie? I know for me, that's about a good 30-minute drive away heading down into Manhattan. So we'll see. We'll see together. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you stopping by as always. Again, always remember to always fly high, even when you are eating a muffin pop and drinking a cup of joe or a chai hot chocolate. Stay tuned also next week for more of our gemstone chat. Until next time.